We're in northern Kentucky, and it's before the season, obviously, but we're driving around looking at deer. Before evening, you don't want to do this after dark because you'll get in trouble. You know, it's almost time to deer hunt. You don't want to be out and about crashing about in the woods, so if you can find a place where you can see them from a distance, then you're much better served to see where they're coming and going, and they're easy to pattern. And we hope tonight to see a few maybe bachelor group bucks running around together. Got a couple of does right here, and we're far enough away from them. Figure out where they're coming to and from, and hey, we got to jump ahead on them. Most important thing you can do, know where to place your stand. Think about the wind. Think about, you don't want the sun in your face. A lot of things go into stand. Where to put your stand. Next spot. Looks like a real good spot to take a doe right there. There's one right to the right of that barn, and that can't be a doe. Here's the bachelor group we talked about. There's a couple nice deer in here. There's a nice 9-pointer. To the right, to the far right. One of them's right on the edge of that tree to the right, and the other's right back behind him. Or in this time of year, they're not really, they're just content to be with each other. They're not doing too much sparring or anything. Still got their velvet on. All right, now we're looking at these in the last daylight. Some nice deer in a bachelor group. They're kind of running around, but these guys are traveling together. A buddy of mine has been seeing them a lot. That one on the far left, I thought was a doe, but it's a little buck. And that's exactly what we wanted to do. We wanted to find some deer, find some bachelor groups, and find out where they're going to and from. You know, it's late in the evening, you know they're going to come out and feed, then they're going to go back in the woods. That's where you want to find your place to put your stand up. Or a high traffic area. Been seeing these guys, you know, on a very common basis. Now we know where they're coming out of the woods. It's getting dark. It's time to quit this. Once nighttime rolls around, you're done looking at deer. Let's come back during the day and see if we can get a few more tips and maybe take a look where these fellows are coming in and out. We've talked about the importance of practicing your bow shooting, 3D shoots if you can do them. Went to Mike's, had him straighten our bow out and get it ready. Shot our broadheads, got all that stuff ready. Then we talked about the importance of long-range surveillance. If you have the option to do that, instead of going into the woods, going into that deer's living room, go from a distance and watch. Even if it's, even if it's only 100 yards, if you can get somewhere set up and watch and see where that deer's coming to and from, that's all important. Pay attention more than anything to your scent. I just try to make myself as neutral as possible. There are non-scent soaps you can use to wash your hair, face, and areas in. There are actually soaps that you can use to wash your clothes in. When you're setting up a stand, obviously look for a high traffic area. Know your predominant wind, a lot of times from west to east. Set your stand up so your wind is not blowing your scent onto the trail where you're setting up. So whether you're in the tree or on the ground blind, remember your scent, keep it covered up, and I'll be ready and you'll be ready to put some venison in the freezer. Good seeing you, buddy. Mike's Guns and Archery. We are at our local pro shop, and you know what time it is.
Yes, it's deer hunting time.
And there's very obvious things that this bow needs. Not a whole lot. It's in pretty good shape, but what are some typical things you see when somebody's brought it in and want to get ready for deer season?
Well, the main thing you see is either wear, right here where they put the releases at, or your tubing. It drought rots bad. So I recommend that you change your tubing at least once a year.
Right.
This string here could use a little wax on it. It's getting a little bit rough.
Yeah.
And then your hose are straight across. This shows your bow still in time.
All right.
If it is a little bit out of time, if it's down a little bit, you can always put a few twists in your cable.
Right.
If it's still in good shape. Now, you may have to change it if it's in bad shape.
Yeah, I need some new tubing. I need some wax on the string, and I'm gonna grab me a couple packs of broadheads. I'm gonna try some stuff out.
Your bow is pulling 67 pounds. First, I'm going to change the tubing on this bow. This tubing was probably put on there last year. It's dry rotted real bad. The sunlight's real hard on tubing. This needs to be changed every year. We need to wax the string for him. It's basically what lube does or oil does to an engine on a car. It keeps it in good shape and keeps it running. Just kind of take your fingers and just kind of work it in the string. That's it. Tim's about ready to go. So now the mechanical broadheads have come a long way. The 100 is my best seller. And this blade here, see, there's one good advantage about these stay locked down. They don't use the O-ring or anything on them. Going on to the next one, this will be my second best. The jackhammer here has got 1 3/4 inch cut in diameter and weighs 100 grains. This is a great broadhead.
I mean, anybody in this shop will tell you, you need to shoot your broadheads to make sure they're flying right.
Sure. I recommend getting the bow once in a while out and shooting at home. And if you get the opportunity, I think you should go 3D shooting. Like I said, it's one of the best practices that you can get. Everything's more like realistic. Instead of being shooting just a standing target, you'd be shooting a deer target at 20 yards or 40 yards or whatever you're comfortable shooting.
The best thing about coming to a place like this is you can talk to everybody. I just talked to 3 different people about what they use broadhead-wise, so on and so forth. Now I know what I'm going to try. I'm going to try a couple different things.
Right.
And whatever works for best for me, that's what I'm taking to the woods, and that's going to be coming up real short.
Close.
All right, buddy. Come and get me some broadheads.